Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Bucket.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going.
I know that we have literally all of us been playing Valheim.
Yes.
That is like the common thread right now. I like that, like, sometimes we fall into games that are the same, but we're playing them with like different groups of people. So the stories behind them are very different, because you guys, like, Oak's group plays very differently than our group plays, so it's been interesting to see how we progress, because we're playing kind of side by side-ish. We started around the same time.
Yeah, I think you started a week or 2 weeks
it was like
before
a
us
week
or something.
before.
Yeah.
They have a meat grinder.
Yeah, well, they did. I think Oak said that Molda said it wasn't working properly.
No, we got it working. We did figure out the problem with it.
Oh.
And we got it working, but all of us have to know what the problem was to fix it when we log in.
Okay, well, don't tell these two, because I'm not allowing that. So
I mean, I've already thought about creating a variation of that. Instead of it being like a horizontal thing, create it as a vertical, create a barn where they go in there, and the small little slats that only the piggies can walk out into the field, so that you can just jump into the field and kill them, and your breeding ones are locked in the barn.
No, see, I don't want to do that. Like, everybody gets freedom. They can all intermingle.
And
every one of them gets
free
named.
range. You and your free range pigs.
Yes, free-ranged pigs are life.
I just walk in there with the butcher's knife and just start chopping them up.
Yeah, well,
Especially because we got new recipes for boar's meat too. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to we end up chopping them because you have to get the number down to a certain number for them to continue to breed inside that tight space.
Oh, yeah, we know that. We know about space. We're about to actually move ours to a little bit larger space so they can produce a bit more. But
Which means I'm going to start slaughtering them at a much bigger rate.
well, because there'll be more of them. I get that. But
Yes,
every one of them gets to be a grown-up piggy or a grown-up boar, and we give them pets and then a name, and then they can go off happy.
I will give you the warning, though. If you're not going to let me separate the ones that can't die, there is a chance that those ones will die.
Well, there's only like 2 that are completely off limits. So Bacon Bits and Bumblefuck, they're the original, start of the family.
They've tried to walk into death before.
They're trying to save people.
We actually didn't name ours, but I want to name the ones that sit up top that are actually doing the producing, just because those are never going to do anything. They're going to stay where they are.
Well, I've tried to name things misleadingly, but Chicken knows better. I named one of them Deer, and he's like, well, we need deer meat too. And I was like, no! You're not supposed to kill that one. He's special. Obviously, that's a deer. I named one of them Not Food. It's dead.
It's food.
Yeah. One of them's name
Not
is
food,
Poison
food,
right now, and it's still alive, so maybe
I haven't seen
Poison.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long.
Oh, well. You can cull them later tonight, but
I feel like that's
was
too much
very
attachment for me. I couldn't name them because then I wouldn't want to slaughter them.
I
we
don't
usually
care.
name them food products. So that
They
it's,
started off with salads, and they moved to, it was like salads, they moved to breakfasts, then they started moving to like random household foods. There was Spam and random things like that.
Well, I mean, I tried to make it all
detract.
pork-based when we started naming them like actual foods, but there's only so many pork-based products that you could name them before you're like, well, I have exhausted my knowledge of pork product.
Yeah, especially when you're trying to produce them at the amount that they actually reproduce, right?
So I try to keep them food-ish, but or punny. One of them was scrambled, but it was like scrambled because it was ham.
Oh, she's done nothing but make puns with the pig names.
That's
the
not
one that gets
nothing.
onto us is the one doing that. That's
fine.
fine.
I only did 3 of them.
Oh, only 3, only 30, only 100, only
No, it was just 3
half
of
all
them.
the ones that were made.
It was
My
that
goal
one.
at some point is to capture a troll too.
Wait,
I'm going to get
we
a troll.
can keep it?
In a sense.
I mean, you're just talking about like putting it in, like building something around it while it's trying to murder us.
I'm gonna build like a giant like volcano thing with a hole, and then you lure it up, and then you can close it in behind it so that you wall it in, and then it's stuck in this little pit. It's like
Do you
a fighting
think it'll
pit.
starve to death? You got your own
The
like
pigs-
sarlacc pit over there.
The pigs don't even starve to death. You only feed them if you want them to breed.
Look, I feed
We
them because
don't
they
even
need
starve
to
to
eat.
death.
yeah,
That's true.
like,
Okay, fine. So, okay, do you think it would despawn at any point because it's an enemy?
probably not.
I think before you go through all of that, you should probably try it with one of the small things like a grayling, so you don't have to put as much effort into it.
Or,
The boars
or
have
do
never
it at one of
despawned.
its respawn points.
Yeah, but
The
the boars
boars
get
have never-
tamed. We have
Oh.
tame boars versus.
I mean, all I'm gonna do is just take the hoe and build up rock walls with a bunch of stone. It's not like it's gonna take that much effort.
This is our life right now.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean it's fun though. Like you guys are. Well, neither one of us have done the swamp boss yet. Neither one of our groups have done the swamp boss.
No,
yet.
but you are one boss ahead of us. You've already
Oh,
done
you guys
the
did
elder.
the. Oh, okay. You haven't done the.
The elder we're doing tonight.
Okay.
We're doing the
okay,
elder
okay,
tonight.
okay.
We set everything up for it to be able to do the elder tonight.
That'll be fun.
Old man he's our map guy. He just likes traveling around and going and finding everything on the map that he possibly can. And I had to tell him stop. But once you zoom out and you see how big the world is,
I mean, it
he's
is
not
massive, but the thing is, like, the further you travel around your area and discover everything around your area, the further you have to go and they put in new content.
That is fair.
Yes,
Um,
because anything you discover does not change when they update it. So
I already told
make
you.
sure,
Oh, well, I guess
yeah,
you
make
don't
sure you
remember.
don't discover everything unless you want to do a fresh server.
Right. Well, and he's been doing that, and main reason he was doing it is because he was trying to figure out where the merchant was at. So
I
he
wish you
finally
the best of luck.
we
Wait, did you
found
find
him. We found him. We
Okay.
found him. He's across an ocean, but we found him.
That's
Same.
not too bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
He crossed an ocean, got to him. He took the stuff with him to be able to make a portal.
Good.
But he didn't make the portal
At home.
like at home until he went back. Is my understanding, because I was like, why would you have not just had it so where you could just gone back and then just had the boat sitting out there?
That is why all the time I have a portal at home that sits in our dock called Travel. That one is meant specifically so that when you are out and about, you could drop the travel portal and always have a connection back home. And then when you're
That's
done with
smart.
it, you pick it back up and you go wherever you're going, and then you could drop it and teleport back home again. I've always got that one specifically for traveling.
And if you're gonna
That's
set up a
smart.
base there, then you build your base, you build your second teleporter, and then you go back home through the travel teleporter, build that, and then you've got your
And
permanent.
you've got your own little.
And for those that have
permanent
never, just to be clear, for the people that have never played the game, if you think that's making the game easier, it's not,
It's not.
because metal pieces cannot make through the portal.
Yeah.
So anything that you have mined or you have made into an ingot of some sort cannot make it through a portal.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's refined or not. Now if it's a let's say a bronze spear or something like that, anything that's a weapon or made into your gear, you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Raw metals cannot go through portals.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you still have to have bases.
I just get to be the tank of the group.
Yeah,
Like-
Baka's just like our thick boy that's like, go up there and stand in front. You're only going to take 1 point of damage from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Until his head gets clapped by either the Wraiths or the fucking 2-star.
The Wraith
Archer
I
drone.
did not get hit by yet, so I don't know how well they hurt. The Abomination does shit to me now.
Well, unless it sits
Until
on
he
you.
sat on your face. and
Yeah,
you ran away
until
screaming.
my tower shield cannot block the damage, and then it hurts. And then
So you're
poison
using a
still
tower
hurts.
shield still instead of a bronze
No,
shield.
I've got an iron tower shield now.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Because there are different styles of play. You can either have the buckler, which is the small one. It's designed specifically for parrying. And then you can have the tower shields. It's the wooden one, the bone one, and then the iron one. Those are designed specifically for damage absorption. I
Right.
play with the buckler, and it is probably the best shield in my opinion, because you can parry anything from an abomination to a troll, and it stuns them and increases the damage they take by quite a bit. So
Right.
if you time it right,
The tower shield can has a chance to stun them when they hit it.
yeah, but it's it's a shorter stun, and they don't take the increased damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it keeps their attention on me a lot while you do shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Cat and
well,
I
it's
are
like
usually
part.
just the
While they
fight.
do stuff, I usually just run around and deal with ads if they come up, because I can stun them. and take them out faster. But yeah, like the abominations are definitely difficult. We've only killed 2 so far.
I don't even know what it is, so we'll see.
It's
Oh,
scary.
don't
I
worry.
don't know.
You'll-
I'm not a fan of the 2-star Draugrs.
Yeah.
They fucking hurt.
I'm just gonna give you this heads up, Oak. The step up difficulty is high, very high.
When you go into the swamp from
the dark forest to the swamp, it curves.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
curves
well, I mean,
hard.
that's good. Like, I like the fact that they're trying to challenge you, and a lot of games I feel like punish you for staying in one place too long, and I
Yeah.
feel like this one punishes you for moving on.
It-
Like, it's
I
not
think
really
it's
punishes you, but they're like, okay, you still have your home base, and they're still gonna have the raids that show up, and you're still gonna all do that, but it's still gonna be one of those where I can move into the forest, and I know that's gonna be more difficult than the meadows.
But I like that
You know.
their difficulty is something you can learn, because it goes from, okay, you're going from the meadows where there are boar and deer and these little greylings into the forest, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, what is a gray dwarf? Why are there 30 of them? Oh no, it's not a troll, it's giant. And then like
Oh my god, getting poisoned and dying almost
To the
every single
shamans,
time
yeah.
to the fucking
But then you
shaman or
kind
the
of,
brutes
like-
running up and clapping you.
you level up, like you start to figure out how it all works, because you need to be in the area that they're in for so long to get everything, you know, to get the stuff that you need to go to the next area, that you start to learn the ways to fight them. And now it's like, oh, okay, there's a troll here, I got it. Like I soloed a troll, and it's
I
like,
do like
yes.
that you can eat based on how you play too.
Yes. the
So
food
like you're like,
buffs.
okay, I am more of a stamina person, less of a health person, or I'm more of a health person, less of a stamina person, depending on how you're playing, and that I think
Well, and
that's
what
cool.
your needs are for the day. It's like, if Kat and
Yep.
I are like, we need wood because we're trying to make stuff. It's like, all right, well, Kat and I are going to eat a bunch of stam food, put on our stam buff, and go out and chop a bunch of trees down. But if we're gonna like go out somewhere, it's like, I'd like a little more health, but I also need a lot of stam. So you can kind of tailor it to how you want to do it. There are throw up berries, so if you make a mistake or you decide that you need
Yeah.
to do something different, which is just, I'm like, I don't need
Is
that.
that what the green ones are?
Yeah, the green and
Little
pink, they
green,
look kind
yellow.
of like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I just throw them out
Yeah, I
because I
do
was like,
too.
They,
Yeah.
they are useful. Like if you, because you can pop food and you're like, I don't want these 3. This isn't the combo that I want.
But
I
it
want
throws
more
up
stamina.
everything.
So you just throw them all up and you go eat the new food, which is the only way to reset your food other than waiting.
right.
So
I
Well,
don't
the good
usually-
thing is once the timer gets half, then
you can
You
eat
can
it. Once
go
it
ahead- you
starts
can replace.
flashing,
Yep.
you can refresh your food.
Yeah, it's been
But-
fun though. I don't.
I do
Mhm.
not. I do not care for the food decay. Like after 50%, the buff for your food starts decaying slowly and slowly.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, You're only fully buffed for half of the food's duration,
which doesn't make
sucks.
sense.
which is why it flashes at you.
I don't care for that.
I don't either because what's the point in the timer?
right?
Exactly
Like,
right.
why not just go ahead and make it the 5 minutes instead of 10 or whatever?
Exactly. Okay, that's awesome. But,
That's
yeah.
So you guys are doing the Elder tonight. I don't know what we had a plan, but I don't remember what it is.
We need to finish exploring that swamp to find the rest of the, because we found one more sunken crypt.
Hmm.
We need to search out the rest of, basically our plan is search out the rest of those swamps, mark everything, check the rest of that island. If there's no other swamp there, we're going to harvest everything we can out of that swamp, make everything as much as we can, and then load it all back up on our boat and take it back home, and then restart and go somewhere else. Because man, you like to make main bases, but this game gives you a hard choice of like, well, you can have a main base.
But you also
That means
really
you got to
need
try to
go.
tote all of this shit that you get from elsewhere all the way back home. I said, fuck that. I took one of our smelters apart and took it over there to start smelting the iron there, upgraded a whole crafting station, like to level 2, a whole forge to level 3, just so that I can make stuff over there.
Well,
And then-
that's what we're kind of doing. We have like little mini
Yes, you have
pieces
to
around
build
or whatever.
stations.
You
wherever
have to
you're
be able to
going.
do it. I think the main thing is like our main base we use for carrot reproduction, as I
Yeah.
call it, because unlimited carrots. Hell
Yep.
yeah, I'll make
Oh,
it
yeah.
happen.
Carrot soup, man. Carrot soup. Best fucking
Well, it's also
thing.
you need carrots for the
Well, I
deer
like that
stew,
the,
I think too.
the deer stew as well.
Hell yeah. Carrot soup, deer stew. Definitely.
And then the jerky's not bad either because it's a
Yes.
23-23.
Mm.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
So it's a good even one to use. And then we've got with the bees, I think it tops out at 5 per hive or something like that, and we've got 5 hives, so we're making 25 at a time.
Hell yeah, the honey is so important too, because you use that in almost all of your mead creations and things like that, and we got to expand our mead production.
I do think it's funny, Chicken, that you've put our little mead cask thing is like right up above. We have two sets of doors to the front of our main base, and it's right up above. So sometimes Chicken just runs by and pushes it to go ahead and let them all out, and it just rains little potion things down on the floor. It's really funny. I just think you picked the perfect, like, I don't know why you put it up on a shelf, but I think it's funny that it is.
Because I was trying to make sure I put it inside because it needed to be covered, and I was like, oh, I'll just find a place inside to put it. Well, nothing's fitting here. I got a spot right here. What if it'll fit up on this little shelf? Okay, cool. It fit right there. Fuck it. I'm just gonna leave it there for now.
I just think it's funny because it doesn't just like, it's not like it comes out of a spout. You click it and it literally pops out like 10 potions. It just rains them out.
I'm gonna let Maldus handle that part of it if it's in the main base, because he works so hard on creating this octagon shaped Viking hut that I'm like, I am not screwing with that at all. Like, the only thing that I've changed is I changed some of the floor torches. I changed into sconces just because of where they were located at. It looked cooler, and I like the fact that it's 6 resin versus 4. But I changed some of it. But I like the fact, at first I was kind of leery of the game, but as I've played on, like, just there's some mechanics that I can't stand that they need to change, but there's a lot more good than there is bad. So it's like, it's nice to be able to go through, and then you that one time you die and you go, son of a bitch, I did not set my respawn before I came through this portal or whatever, and I ran all the way over here and I'm near another base of some sort, and I was like, no. So
our scariest fucking death so far was, we were at the swamp house, and that is where we set the portal down, and we got back in the boat and traveled super far north. I mean, really far north. I had the extra portal on me, and we made it really far, and we found some extra swamp, and it got night and it was raining. And we never messed with the swamp before, so we were like just sailing gently towards the coast and went to go around it, and I saw a blue shine from behind us, and it came up and looked like a ghost, and I was like, oh shit, there's a ghost, and it one-shot me.
Yeah, it was like, hey,
Holy
what's up,
crap.
motherfucker? Whap.
And it one-shot me, and then I don't know how else it went down, but it proceeded to kill all of us, like one right after another, and destroyed the boat. And I was like, oh no. To me, I was like, well, all of our shit's gone.
We're like, nope, get in the boat, let's go. We're gonna.
So we teleported back home. We fucking got a bunch of materials for a brand new boat, jumped through the teleporter, made the boat, and sailed all the way back up there. Got all of our shit and fucking dipped
Which luckily your headstones will float. So like, if you died on the water, you can take a boat and go get it.
Yeah, I found that out the hard way too.
The water
falling off a cliff into the water.
Water's the scariest, especially if you're sailing out there and you just get to. Do not sail at night. Do not touch the ocean at night unless you come prepared. Yeah,
because those things are just gonna eat your boat, and then they'll eat you.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to make a new boat. I have materials to make the big boat, Griff.
Oh.
So when we're done over here, we're gonna make the big boat.
Yeah, the unfortunate part for us is we're playing with a group of 5, but the boat that we have access to now is only 4. So it's like, well, who wants to stay? Kat was like, I'll stay. I've got like 400 more carrots to plant. You guys go ahead.
Oh, like it can't handle the weight?
No, you can't. You can't.
Actually.
Yeah, there's only space for 4 people to attach to the boat. So if you try to put
carry them,
you could.
But they could fall off.
Yeah, and that's way too risky with the way that the ocean sometimes gets choppy.
Oh yeah, especially when it's raining.
Yep.
Oh my god, those storms are brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Like, whenever it starts raining, I instantly fucking turn on the paddle and get close to shore and just like try to wait that motherfucker out.
That makes like the Sea of Thieves storm look tame.
Yeah.
And you're in this small little boats, man. Wow.
But yeah, we get the big boat now. I haven't made it, but once we're done with this area, I'm gonna make it, and then we're gonna load the smelter. Well, actually, we're gonna load all the iron on there. Take everything down, take it through the portal, and then we'll just basically abandon this place. Abandon it and go back home.
I
With
think
all
we
of our
should leave
stuff.
the portal there just because it's honestly, it's right there in a good place where there's a bunch of, like metal respawns and whatnot right there.
Well, I don't care about metal. We'd have to boat it back.
Well, I guess that's true. Okay, fine.
That like we
I
can go
just use it
somewhere
for
It's
your
else.
so
farm.
convenient.
If that's where your pigs and everything are at, that's where I would leave it there.
Well, no, that's our
It's not.
main
That's
base.
all right. We're gonna take like this is just a metal outpost.
Oh, okay.
We're getting metal scraps. Like once we completely get all of the metal and everything else that we need from that swamp, we're just gonna load up all of our stuff and move it to a different swamp so we can load up metal there and bring it back home. It's how we're gonna have to do it because short of taking everything and leaving that and making everything somewhere else, which is what we're kind of doing, and then bringing some stuff back home. So because we need iron at home, we need to make a stonecutters thing.
Yeah.
We need iron for that, and I can't get iron back home any other way than taking a boat. So once we're done, we'll take it all back home.
Well,
I'm interested to see how much faster that is than the second boat. Like,
Man, that second boat can pick up speed
If
when you
you
get
get
full
some
fucking
wind.
wind. Oh, the
you know what
physics
though?
of
It's
it-
pretty fast, even with just a paddle. To be fair,
yeah. You
compared
are
to the
not wrong.
raft,
You're not wrong.
that raft's like, I might make it there sometime this year.
maybe.
You get the other one, and you're like, what? Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of like having a powerboat, as opposed to, I'll just float here.
You just got to make sure you've got enough for a workshop every once in a while, so you can drop it off near the shore, repair your boat, and then get back on, like a gas station.
Well, I've been playing that. I've been playing very slowly through Resident Evil 4 also. And I got really sad today because I missed the opportunity to take the screenshot of Leon on the throne thing. And so I was like, well, this just sucks. And then after that, I'm like, I don't know if I was just distracted by that and irritated, but I was like, here's a warning shot. Here's a warning shot. My handgun ammo is limited. Here's another warning shot, I guess, because it could not hit the broadside of a barn. I was so mad. So mad.
Yeah, but you handled that boss pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't waste as much ammo on him, but everybody else is just like the random enemies. It's like, yep, that's what I did. I just shot next to you because I wanted you to know I was here, I guess. Hello. I'm here. Come get me. That's sad. I'm sad about it. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's one of those things too where I was thinking about it and I was like, well, I missed that opportunity for the screenshot, which is like, I just wanted to see how he looked in the fancy outfit on the throne, and I'm so upset about it. And I was like, oh no, I guess I'll have to play this game again. Oh no.
Hurts your feelings
Oh,
so much.
no.
I know, right? And it's like, well, the downside is I'll have to wait till like fall, but the other downside is I'm playing it from Chicken's Library, so it's one of those things where it's like, do I put it on my Steam wish list and buy a second copy when it's on sale so I don't have to monopolize his library?
Oh no, another Resident Evil copy. That's not even the damn game that I wanted you to buy. You
I
need to buy
know.
3.
Yeah, but nobody actually wants to play Resident Evil 3 because of what they did to
Oh,
it.
I don't care about Resident Evil 3. I just want you to have resistance.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's. I think I have it on my wish list for when it goes on sale, but I don't remember. But that's fun. Like that's literally. Oh my god, it's auto playing the ad again. Sorry, that webpage. One of the web pages that we get our news on. I was like, something's moving over here. What is it? Stupid autoplay. Did you learn nothing from MySpace and everybody's autoplay horrible music? Stop it.
Oh my god.
It wasn't all horrible. Okay, some of us had really
it's
good
horrible when you're like, oh, let me click on the page, and then all of a sudden it's blasting like Papa Roach at you or some shit. I mean, that's what era MySpace was cool in. So I just picked a
Man,
random.
centuries
I'm
ago.
so glad that I skipped the MySpace bullshit.
Haven't you skipped every social media era?
Basically.
Yeah, so
That doesn't count.
He's had like, he'll put some pictures on Instagram or whatever once in a while. That's it.
Yeah, but as far as the other bullshit of drama, no, not doing it.
Yeah, stay away from the the drama. You'll be fine.
I got enough of that through my life. I'm good.
I feel that.
Is anybody else playing anything aside from Valheim? I feel like that's taking like 90% of all of our time right now.
I've been fucking around with the Dreamlight Valley here and there.
Oh, you can talk to Oak about that. He's a professional farmer in that one. That's the
I just
Disney
brought
one,
the
right?
money.
Yeah, it's like very Animal Crossing, but with Disney characters, and I was like, I'll fuck around with it for a bit.
Yep. Like it's so funny because my daughter is like got all the characters that you can currently unlock as all those characters. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with like millions of coins, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Farming. I just farm. That's what I do.
Sign on for 20 minutes every day to water my turnips or whatever it is.
Pumpkins.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I was close.
I just drag around Scrooge McDuck to farm gems.
That
You
works
just
too.
make him go with you places, like find
Yeah,
it.
I just go here. You follow me, so you can give. Well, once you reach I think like level 2 friendship or something with
That's
a
correct.
character, you pick like do they give you bonuses if they're tagging along for fishing or mining or gardening or whatever else. So like I just go around with Scrooge getting gems and then selling them for a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, because you'll mine the gem, and then whatever the big gem is that pulls up, he throws another one out. And
Oh.
it's the same thing for gardening. So if which is how I do the gardening stuff, is if you, and the higher that level is, because 10 is the highest level you can have as a friendship. So the higher the level, the more of those get thrown out. So with the so what I do is I'll have somebody that does the gardening with me, and I'm picking up all the stuff. And as I'm when I'm going to pick, they're dropping like 5 or 6 of these at a time, and I'm just going out and selling all of
I'd
it.
be like, hey,
Because
bro, if you've got that many, can you not just like give me a bundle of these? Stop throwing them on the ground. What are you doing? Don't be a dick. Be a dude. God.
just give them to me at the start. We'll be
Right?
fine.
Like, okay, so obviously you've bought 45 carrots with you today. Why did you take like an hour to give them all out as you sprinkle them on the ground? Just hand them to me.
You're watching me work here too. Like you're just standing around and throwing these out. You could have just handed them to me without me having to do all the work.
This is one of those like real life things. I mean, like, Griff, realize this is a video game. Stop trying to. No. They have it. They can just give it to
When
me.
the game first started too, it was kind of frustrating because until you realize that is very important in the game to be able to, and you could push these characters higher and higher in the levels. You used to not be able to reassign them to another task, and they finally, like 3-4 months ago, put it in to where you can reassign them to do a different task if they're not so they can help you do something else, right? Because there's certain people I don't want around me. Like, I get it, it's your son's favorite thing, but the Toy Story characters I don't want anywhere near me.
Aw,
So
but
it's
Buzz
like
Lightyear.
so I just, some of those I keep away from me for stuff, but and other ones don't. Like some of them you can be friends with, but there's no way to increase the friendship because they can't help you. Like Ariel, because she's in the water, so she can't really help you with any of the stuff.
Can't she like sell you her friends or something?
Oh, wow, no. Why would you do that?
Give me some fish.
Ariel and Ursula are both like they stay in the water the whole time. So
Yeah, they're useless.
Like when you go around and do whatever task you're doing with them, it does build up the friendship level. So with them, it's a slower process because it's like, oh well, I actually have to go and make an effort and talk to you, and
I'm just
give
not
you
going to do
shit.
that.
And you can talk to them once a day.
Yeah, I'm not.
and give them 3 different items, and some of the days it's like, hey, I want this food item that you can't make because you don't have the biome unlocked yet in order to get the thing to make it. It's like, well fuck you too, bitch.
Baka gets very offended by these people.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like too much more responsibility.
It is like it's basically one of those things. It's like I'll pop on and play it for like an hour or so, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done.
My daughter did have
now
one.
that I've got the Overlord games on Steam, I think I'm going to be addicted to that now.
Yeah,
Overlord. I threw up that new one. It's like Gauntlet, old style Gauntlet Legends.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about now.
Overlord something.
Yeah. I bought the 4-pack and it's like, well, if it's bad, we can all say it's bad together.
It's probably going to be pretty mediocre. Pretty mediocre, if I had to guess.
Probably. The originals were so good, though.
I have.
They should make a third one.
Who owns it now?
I have no idea.
Not sure on that one.
Chicken's gonna go look.
We've looked it up before, and I can't remember. Because I'd love for them to make a third one. I'd be interested how they would make it now, though. Because some of the stuff that they did in that game, the first 2 games, you couldn't do now, I don't think.
What,
Yeah,
be
you could.
evil?
No, I'm not talking about the evil. I'm talking about the relationship part of it. So,
Oh,
but
wow.
the, anytime you can have a minion come up to you and just go, for you, and give you whatever it is. Give you.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of living.
It's true.
You are supposed to be evil. That is the whole gist of the game.
Yep.
Be bad. Well,
For
yeah.
you, Overlord.
Did you
I
find it?
mean, they also take shit like pumpkins and put it on their heads like helmets. So
It's so good. I love it to watch them like just play with just sending them around to see what happens. It's so good.
to
Love
see
it.
what fucked up shit they come back for weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
know when you kill the halfling boss in the first one of them can pick up his like pork or whatever, the golden pork, and
Mhm.
that becomes his weapon then.
That's awesome.
Well,
so good. We want to get some news.
yeah, I was gonna say we're like 30 minutes in. Maybe we should look at the news for a minute.
Looks like EA owns the company who made Overlord.
Oh, it makes sense why it's on sale right now, because this is when the EA stuff is on sale. EA publisher
Yeah,
sale on
yeah.
Steam.
Yeah.
That does make sense.
Yeah. So not enough money in there for them to put up a new game. So. Oh well. Maybe someday. Anyway.
Maybe we can petition THQ to buy
it from them. Come on, Embracer Group. Well, I guess that's a good segue. Speaking of Embracer Group, and our greatest company that we cheer for, they have made a deal with Amazon to produce a new Lord of the Rings MMO.
Because their first MMO went over so fucking well.
Their second MMO went over so well
Are
too.
but okay, the MMO we're talking about like New World, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it came out successful and then didn't.
They have New World and Lost Ark. Are there 2 MMOs they currently have?
Yeah, but they both died off really quickly.
There's still people that play Lost Ark because it's free to play, I think.
Yeah, so let's say, like I said at the beginning, they're mediocre games. They have a base, they have a following, but they're not raking in like Uber cash from them. They're probably making just enough.
Not
keep
to
the doors
the point Amazon was probably hoping for, which is probably why they basically want to take one of those games and reskin it with Lord of the Rings, and go, look, all you Lord of the Rings nerds, come play our game now.
I mean, based on the art style and stuff, I would say it's probably going to end up being New World.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I would think is considered worst of the 2 games based on reviews and stuff. So,
because I've got a feeling Amazon's going to want to try to crank this out as quick as they can. So they may use very well use the skeleton structure of New World or something then to build it.
I mean, I'd be interested. I like the Lord of the Rings world, so I'd be interested to see what they would do.
I like the Lord of the Rings world, but Chicken, weren't you and I just talking about a Lord of the Rings game that's going to be coming out like in the next little bit here that already has DLC, and some of the DLC is why don't you pay extra to make the elves talk like elves?
It's not DLC. It's just extras that you buy with the for $10, the increased edition.
is that for the Gollum game?
Yes, it is.
That just seems weird as a
already
choice.
Like people that have seen it are like, it's evidently not great. It looks like an old 360 game every time I've seen a video of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what Griff was talking about. You have the regular, the standard version, and then you have the Gollum Precious Edition. It's $50 for the standard, 60 for the Precious Edition. With the Precious Edition, you get five extra things. the soundtrack, the emotes pack, the Sindarian VO, the lore compendium, and the art exhibition. Soundtrack is self-explanatory. 17 songs on a soundtrack. The emotes pack, you get emotes that you can use just in the game to make Gollum
In a
wave,
single-player
relate
game.
sound, things like that at people. Okay, super lame. Should be just normal. Okay. The Sindarian VO, if you buy that, it makes the elves speak in Sindarian, the elven language, instead of English.
English.
So if you don't understand the language, it's fucking useless.
Well, no,
Well, it's
there are
probably- you put the
subtitles,
Well, there's going to be
so
subtitles.
you know, it's one of those things where it's like
It's
for
just-
If you turn it
immersion
off.
reasons,
Yeah, it's
that
for
should be as
immersion.
part of it. But sure, I
And-
guess charge people $10. Why not?
And to be fair, if I'm not mistaken, most games, when you even turn off subtitles, if they speak in a different language, it will automatically translate it for you anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, not always, but
I didn't say always. I said most of the time. Even if you have subtitles turned off, it'll still translate it for you. The lore compendium, it's just a little lore tab in the fucking menu while you play the game.
Yeah. So you know, it was bad enough because Destiny's like, why don't you go check the webpage? At least you got to pick up the lore pieces to go look at whilst you were in game instead of having to pay to add it on.
And then the art expedition exhibition is just behind the scenes for the creation
I mean,
of the game.
that's standard fare for your special edition kind of stuff.
Like,
But
all
like,
5 of these things are like just normal things
it seems weird. It seems weird.
that are just in the game. It's like somebody was like, "What things can we take out of the game to take $10 off the price?"
Yeah.
Well, let's take just random bullshit out that, we could, because $60 seems like it's the regular price for this game. Why take these 5 things out and charge $50?
Because they know this game's gonna tank.
Probably. They're just hoping that
Like-
super hardcore fans will go ahead and pay for it in advance before they know how bad it is.
I do not see this game going very well at all. I have a feeling it is just going to go whoop, boop.
Keep in mind, he's
Whoever
talking
is
about
in
the Gollum
charge
game,
of the Tolkien estate right now.
not the original
as far as
article
this
we were
stuff,
talking about.
needs to be slapped.
This one was in production before Embracer Group got a hold of all of the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it was canceled earlier. There was an earlier attempt that was canceled. It's actually in the article near the bottom.
Oh.
And then that was announced in 2019. And then the project was being developed by a Hong Kong-based company that was acquired by Tencent. So, so this is going to be a second attempt to start this the game now that Embracer Group has it, which is, in my opinion, is probably better off since Embracer Group owns it. Theoretically, Amazon could. I mean, I know they have their own studios, but they laid a lot of people off. So I'm just wondering if they're just going to fund it and have one of Embracer Group's studios actually do the work.
That would be the best way to do it. Like, get one of their best groups to build this MMO for them.
Also, I didn't know this until we read the article, and I had to look it up because I was like, "What?" At some point, this is the second time they've had to work with Embracer Group because their Lord of the Rings television show actually was before Embracer Group bought the rights, but they actually acquired the rights to Tomb Raider to create a television show for it. So this is the second time they've dealt with Embracer Group over some type of game-oriented thing. In this case, a television
That right
show.
there is exactly why Embracer Group is buying up as many IPs and everything as they can, because they will just be the owners and they will license it out to everybody to have everybody let their own spin on it.
Right.
It's like, cool, you want to try? Let's go. All right, you're done. Cool. You want to try? Let's go. We're going to, which I think is also could be good if they're going to let indie studios rent out the license and not be super Gollum about it, where it's like, it's mine, you can't work with it. It's like, yeah, you want to try a game? Cool. You try to make
EA and Star Wars, where it's like, yeah, we're just going to produce shitty games because we own the Star Wars license. And if you want to play Star Wars, you don't have a choice.
Because Embracer's like, oh, maybe this company, this AA company, is going to come out with a golden version of a game for this series. Because you never know which one's going to be the one to step outside the box and make something that's going to really blow up. So
It's
I
true.
didn't realize
just-
that the same people that are in charge, like the studio that is making or is working on New World, is also the one doing the Lord of the Rings game.
Is it?
It's like
This goes back to our
you
theory of
asked them to
reskinning.
run two MMOs at the same time right now, even though the first one's not two. Okay, all right,
I'm
sure,
convinced
go ahead.
New World's going to go away. That's what's going to happen. And this is going to be the reskinning process that we were just talking about.
Yeah,
Sure.
If that's the case.
Oh yeah.
but it just means that it's also going to be pretty not great.
Well, hopefully,
We'll see.
I'm going to give people the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully, they've learned their lesson on at least how they need to start the gaming part of it off versus the issues they ran off the beginning of New World that kind of ran everybody off.
They've
Because they
also
did make
got a
some
real
adjustments people
gaming
liked.
company. They've also got a real gaming company to work with too.
Mhm.
Instead of just them and their closed-minded Amazon world, it's like you get to work with Embracer Group, who has dozens of studios at their hands that you can use for information and help and tips. And all of
I'm
that.
wondering how much of that agreement, though, allows for that to happen. Like, is Embracer Group going to be protective of their licensing to the point that they go, here is the studio that we recommend you talking to make sure that things are done correctly? Or if it's going to be more of a, here's you bought the license, good luck.
Have at enjoy.
I mean, to be fair, that is what Embracer Group is known for. Is that they just go, here you go, good
Mhm.
luck. Let us know how it goes. Make
Mhm.
your own decisions. Because that's
Yep.
why whenever they got the blowback from the Epic game exclusives from some of their studios, they're like, they make their own decisions. We may
Yep.
not agree with it, but we'll get after them if they don't come back to us with profit. Then we go and be like, hey, bad choice. Now we have to talk.
Yeah,
Other
I'm
than that,
gonna
it's like,
guess that they probably had that conversation with the Saints Row developers.
oh, I'm sure.
I wonder if this means that they're going to shut down the other Lord of the Rings MMO. Now that I think about it,
They
Oh.
might.
because this is what happened to Star Wars Galaxy, where they were getting ready to work on and do the Old Republic,
Mhm.
and when they announced it and everything, shortly after Galaxy shut down because Lucas didn't want two Star Wars MMOs being out at the same time.
Like competing against each other, essentially. Huh.
Okay, first of all, poor take. Second of all, WoW Retail, WoW Classic.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Mhm.
two separate audiences, I would argue.
But
Or
it's
it
one
could be
subscription.
two separate.
It's one subscription, both games. You
Who-
blow up your audience.
Who owns the current Lord of the Rings?
I was just looking at that earlier.
Yeah, because I was about to say I don't think it's the same company.
Because I feel like if they've bought the license, then they're depending on if the license is still good or not, depends on whether that game still has to be up. Because if another studio has purchased that,
Standing
Yeah.
Stone Games and Turbine.
because I know it still has people that play it, but I just don't know how popular it is at
yeah,
all.
because I mean, yeah, that's just it's been around for a while.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's been around like since like mid 2000s, like 2005, 2006, something like that. It's been around for a long time.
No, I'm pretty sure it came out a little bit later.
2007.
Yeah,
So right around the mid 2000s.
They've done a bunch of MMOs. They did Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, anyway. It's by Standing Stone Games and Turbine. Turbine is, well, it's formerly Turbine. It's WB Games Boston.
So Warner Brothers owns them.
Yes. Didn't Embracer Group buy Lord of the Rings from Warner Brothers?
They didn't buy from Warner Brothers. I don't.
Did they
No,
buy it
no. They brought it from the Tolkien family.
Okay, they bought it from the actual estate. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they own the rights to this game now. So they're bosses. Because they would be licensing from them. So when their license runs out from that one, or they restructured it when they sold the rights off to the new ones.
Yeah, either one's possible.
Oh, okay. So actually, Standing Stone made an announcement about that, where they're saying it's the old one is not going away,
Oh, good.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
despite the future competition from Amazon.
And they're
Oh.
probably going because it's not competition. Because did you see their last game?
Yeah, it'll be big for like a week or two. And you'll see all the big streamers play it and try it out, and then just like with some of the like New World and shit, it'll just drop.
Right.
Well,
Because just like with most MMOs, like people are going to grind to max level. Then they're going to be like, well, there's no content to keep me entertained here, and they'll just go off.
Well, as long as Embracer Group doesn't do them dirty and cancel their contract, which forces them to shut the game down and forces everybody to move to the new MMO, because technically they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they're that kind of company. They're just letting. They've always given off that vibe of the hippie sitting in the back, where it's like, you do you, whatever.
Whatever, man.
Whatever. I mean, because they're getting a cut of a profit of this and pretty much everything else that has to do with any of their.
I mean, there's still a fan base for that other Lord of the Rings. So
I've tried to play it. It's just clunky.
yeah. Even when it came out, the combat and stuff in comparison to like WoW and shit, like it all felt very clunky.
Yeah, that was my biggest issue. Is I tried playing it after I was playing WoW, and I was like, man, this is good. Just a little clunky.
It's got a very good like story mode, like story when you go through, and the lore and everything's all there. Just the mechanics were very clunky. They may have improved them.
Yeah,
I haven't played it in years. I mean, I know the Old Republic has gone through some combat changes and stuff over the years. And they've tried to streamline and simplify some of the character classes and things like that. And they even had, last time I played, they even had like, well, if you're playing, a Sith Inquisitor, well, they pop up and going, okay, well, these are your three possible branches you can go off in, and these are what each of them does. And whichever one you want to go, they continue popping up with little things to go, okay, well, this is probably the best thing to go for abilities. And
well,
we can move from the MMO talk over to the company that owns probably the biggest MMO in the world.
yeah. We did mention WoW.
Yep. So as of right now, there are 37 countries that have approved Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard. The newest, of course, is going to be Europe. Has done it, as well as China.
which is weird because doesn't China not want Blizzard like games over there?
Yeah. Me and Griff were talking about this, and I'm pretty sure the whole bad blood thing happened back in like 2019 due to the Hearthstone event, and how China, Blizzard China HQ jumped the gun, and then Blizzard HQ here had to backpedal on it, and China didn't like it, and they've just been kind of contentious since then. And so when they left, they burned down the damn house. So it seems like they just don't care because they're making their own MMO. Sorry, their new WoW.
yeah.
Because they are absolutely, it's going to get released this summer if I'm not mistaken. That's part of why they were getting ready to get rid of Blizzard. Period, because they want
So
the Chinese
that's just basically them going, yeah, do the merger, whatever. We don't care.
It really doesn't affect them at all. They don't. I don't think you could sell very many games over there anyway.
No, but I think they have. I don't know that Activision Blizzard has necessarily specific games that are China only, but I know Microsoft does.
Yeah.
Because of Microsoft has a pretty good relationship with China. So that's probably a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Is my thought process. Right now, the UK has come out and spoke and said that this does not change their decision at all, that Europe has decided to make this decision. They stand by what they originally decided. Europe also had an issue with the the whole aspect of the cloud gaming part of it. But they were satisfied with the 10-year deals that were set up by Microsoft. And the U.S. still has their lawsuits up against this is happening as well. So
they're the main ones. They're the main ones. Everybody else could go, yeah. But if the U.S. goes no, then it ain't happening. They could, it'll turn into a law. It'll turn into a fight. That's for sure.
Well, but I mean, because you're not going to get Microsoft to go, okay, we're pulling up all of our stuff and we're moving over to Europe. That's not happening.
No,
they're going to stay in Washington where they currently are. They're not going anywhere.
Oh no, they will start a fight about that. And they've got 37 countries that have been like, yeah, that's good. See, 37 countries from around the world have all individually said that this is a good enough deal. Why you? Which I think it's going to go through. I feel like it's going to go through.
I think it's eventually going to go through as well. And I think that this is not an article that we put out today, but it was one that I'd sent. There was an interview that took place with Phil like 2 weeks ago. And this was right after the UK said no, that this interview took place. And in that interview, because of the fact the UK had actually stated the fact that they felt like this is going to be unfair competition with the console wars and all that type of stuff. In that interview, Phil says, we lost the console wars, which goes back to all we care about software, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's his way of playing the long-term game of trying to get them to kind of switch and help with your appeal. So it's going to be very interesting to see if that changes either in the U.S. side or the UK side.
I don't think anything is going to change the UK side of things. I think they are just being, I can't think of the word for it. They're just going to say no just because that's what they stated and they don't want to backpedal on it.
Right.
And I also think they'll throw empty threats. So if it does go through, they'll be like, well, that sucks. We don't agree with it, but you can keep selling your games here.
Yeah.
Also, for with the still news going on with Blizzard, BlizzCon has been announced last year. Of course, the digital version of it didn't exist. They said that there would be a live one this year. It's going to be in November of this year in LA, the Anaheim Convention Center area. So it's coming back live. Thoughts? Y'all are,
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that either one, they completely cut any of the audience questions, or two, they vet the audience questions before they get asked because...
That doesn't matter. You could vet all you
I know, people are going to get up there and say what they want. I think they'll just cut it.
Question.
All it's going to be is a bunch of... Because this is what's happened over the years at BlizzCon. It went from being like people who were passionate about what they were working on, talking about all the things they loved about it and, things they were working on, to... You guys, look at this cool art thing I did. It's so amazing. This game is so good. You all are gonna just love it right now. You just need it. And like it went from being like people who were passionate about what they were doing to people selling you a product. And I think this is gonna be more of the same. But good luck, because one of the things we haven't talked about yet is Overwatch 2 cutting the PvE, which was literally the whole reason for having Overwatch 2. So get ready for that fun part. I'm sure they're gonna be spinning it.
They've already tried. They've already tried, and every time I see an article, because one of the
doesn't matter. They're not gonna stop putting it at BlizzCon just because they're gonna be I'm
talking about excuses.
Oh yeah, and there's tons of excuses.
Like the director came out and said, "Well, we couldn't make a lot of this work. It seemed it was turning into too many MMO aspects, and it just wasn't working." And everyone's like, "Shut the fuck up."
You offered a talent tree. You made it an MMO.
I don't want to hear your bullshit excuses anymore. You fucking lied.
Yeah.
You did all of this bullshit so that you could stuff a shop and a battle pass into your PvP and then completely dismantle your original game.
Yep.
Do you think if, let's say, the acquisition happens on time, US able to do the US side of it, do you think, let's say Phil takes over day one and he goes, we're bringing this shit back. This is what the problem was. We're going to bring in some of the other teams that we have at our disposal to help them do all that type of stuff. Do you think it's too late with Microsoft coming in if they were able to do something like that? Or
you just shut the hell up and let them work and then they release it. That's it. And everyone's like, oh, wow. And then
But I think if
Phil comes out
that's-
and he's like, well, we reorganized and restructured and we were able to make things work a lot smoother since Microsoft resources have been able to get into Blizzard and Activision and sort things out and make them work
But
better.
I think what happens at that point is it's not Overwatch 2. They're like, Overwatch 2 didn't happen because of all of the stuff that was happening with that at the time, but we're doing Overwatch 3, which will have all of your PvE stuff. That's what would happen. They'll announce a whole nother game because I don't think you can salvage it under Overwatch 2. And I don't think that that's going to help try to sell Overwatch 3. I don't think that you can really fix it.
You try to do an Overwatch 3 and it blows up bigger than putting PvE in Overwatch 2 would.
Yeah, I think you're better off putting it in Overwatch.
I just think it's going to not...
I think you get rid of the 2, go back to the name Overwatch, and just put the PvE in.
I think what happens is they take the bones of Overwatch and make another PvP game where they do have the PvE in it. I think that, Microsoft might rebrand a little that way with it.
You rebrand this game and you put the stuff in this game. Like, this is where your centralized thing is. You can't go. You can't. They gave themselves no wiggle room anymore because you have no trust. If they offered you and were like, oh, we're going to do Overwatch 3, you would never touch it. I would never touch it.
I mean...
Most people would never touch it.
Honestly, the only reason I haven't uninstalled Overwatch 2 at this point is because I just don't think about it.
I didn't download it in the first place for the PvE stuff, and it's free. I haven't put any money into it. It has all of the stuff that I put money into and time into. So it's all my free stuff. I'm not losing anything or gaining anything. I'm literally just sitting here still being able to play the same game I was able to play last time. So I have invested nothing into this game except for when I first bought it, and maybe...
I think that's one of the things that people are upset about, though, is the game that you did pay for, they dismantled to give us this instead. And they didn't give it... like you said, basically they dismantled the first Overwatch to sell you on a battle pass and microtransactions.
Yeah, like that right there, we already knew that. And if you didn't know that Blizzard was greedy, then you're out of your fucking element.
Yeah.
Because everybody could look at me and be like, oh, Blizzard is greedy.
I just think
Blizzard is the epitome of greed in a gaming company.
I think that it's going to be hard to gain some of that back at all. I mean, maybe it's one of those things, if Microsoft came in and they're like, all right, look, we're going to give you extra resources. Here's a suite of tools that you can use that will let you create this. Figure it the fuck out.
That's why
maybe,
you don't
but
go in making promises or doing things and showing off shit. You just don't.
Yeah.
You keep doing your seasons, and then when your product is fucking ready and done, then you show it off and be like, okay, due to the Microsoft merger, we've been able to get resources. We can finally, put some of this stuff to use, and this is what we've got so far. It's all playable right now. It's going to be on the beta this weekend. We hope you guys get out and enjoy it. Everyone's like, oh my god, and they will fucking jump on that shit because they want to see. Everybody will want to see.
Well,
Let's see what
I think they're trying to salvage themselves. Like Chicken said, they're doing a lot of excuses right now, but they're like, oh, don't worry, we've still got your co-op stuff on our roadmap, so some of it's canon and some of it's not. It's basically like we've still got events like the anniversary event, which is a horde mode.
The Halloween
the Halloween event. We've got stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, okay, we didn't think you were gonna get rid of that because you've already got the bones to make that. It's the frustrating part is that you got rid of the thing that you told us you had to dismantle the first game to give us.
Oh man, thinking about this, I forgot what that game was called all those years ago. Battleborn, maybe.
Battleborn was the Gearbox one.
Was that the one that was a MOBA?
Yeah.
A first-person MOBA. They could probably do something like that in this game too, if they were able to add like the little bots. Those little bots are the minions. And you got talent trees. You could do a MOBA style. You already have the 5v5. You could add different game modes.
Yeah, but Blizzard already did a MOBA and they scrapped that too.
But then you bring it into your more popular game, so the people who are playing this have an option to play that MOBA style, and people who like MOBAs can come into Overwatch and play that style. It's like diversifying your portfolio. Same thing with retail. Their WoW game, they have 2 separate versions. You pay one time and you get both sides. You appeal to everybody. You get more people playing your game. They don't have a MOBA anymore. Yeah. They don't. So you could fit that in there.
I mean, basically, they were like, "Yeah, okay, screw you. We're gonna take away. We're gonna take away one player per each team on Overwatch. We're gonna take away a couple of maps, and we'll give you a push mode. Are you guys happy? Do you like this?" It's like, no, we don't. No, we don't like this. What is this? Stop it.
No,
Where's the PvE that you said we were gonna get? Oh,
They
yeah.
did it
By
for
the way,
you.
we're not doing that. Oh, okay.
Battle Pass and the shop were the two main reasons for Overwatch 2. That's pretty much it.
That shop is so fucking stupid. And it's going to be the same in Diablo, I bet. They're going to bank on
yeah.
FOMO because it's going to be a rotating shop because they don't want to have people have to click through tabs to find the item they want. So they're just going to give you a couple of items and rotate it. Like, that makes literally no
excuse kills
fucking
me.
sense. I'm sorry, nobody has problems scrolling through tabs to find a thing that they want, especially if you added a search box.
Oh, I was about to say, wait. You got to put a search bar in there. I know it's super advanced because I'm pretty sure Epic Games just got one or something like that. So I'm pretty sure Activision Blizzard might be able to figure out how to put a search bar in. So, I mean,
But then how will the controller people use it? I don't know, the same way that everybody on any console has ever signed into anything, it pops up a keypad and you run it around and pick out the letters you want? I mean, there's literally no reason you couldn't do that. It is just such a fucking transparent bullshit excuse for them to use the FOMO shop method instead. Honestly, it just makes the whole company look punchable to me. Even more so than it already does.
I am interested to see if the acquisition goes through, what changes get made, because I feel like there's like, you go, okay, they're not going to make that many decisions because, you know, they're trying to be acquired. Surely they can't fuck something up, and then they fuck something up. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, oh, and we fucked this up. By the way, sorry guys, I know we fucked this thing up and the other thing up, but now we're gonna fuck this up. You know. It's
the list of things they got right is shorter than the list of things that they've messed up.
Right.
So that's sad.
Last bit of news for the Activision stuff. This is just an update on stuff that we've covered here on the show. Activision and Riot, who've both had class action settlement payments that they had to pay out. We finally got some details on those. Riot has paid out over 1,548 women, anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000, even some, depending on their position in the company, as much as $40,000 payments. And up to 40,000. And the with Activision, nearly all of the $18 million fund is now being distributed. I would just like to remind people that Riot had to pay out $100 million, and Activision still only had to pay out $18 million. Like, that just still blows my mind that the number's not even close.
Yeah.
In the difference. But anything that is left over that is going to be donated to a nonprofit organization called Reboot Representation. And what it is for minority women to be able to go to school for computer stuff. It gives scholarships out for that. So they're giving back to a good charity as well.
Yeah.
And
then there's two scary newses. Well,
yeah, they're too
it's
scary.
Too fun. Fun things for scary based things. I think. We finally got I would say a teaser. Okay, I thought they were touting it as a trailer, but it's 47 seconds. That's a teaser for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which apparently Josh Hutcherson is the star of, and I'm in it. I don't think it's gonna be cinematic masterpiece or anything, but I don't think that you should expect that from a movie about fucking Five Nights at Freddy's. It's gonna be campy and silly and dumb. I'm ready for it to be dumb. Let me see it.
I'm just glad to see that Josh Hutcherson still working, because I think the last thing that he did that was with anybody that actually saw him in happened to be the last Hunger Games movie.
I told Chicken I think that he was in Future Man. I think that he doesn't get cast in main roles though because he's short, and that makes me sad.
And the fact that he's like in his 30s and looks like he's 15 years old, like he's
aging very well.
Yeah, he's aging super well. I mean,
is he 30?
He's 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's half my age.
I mean, damn, get this
First
person
of all,
but I think
good-
that's why, like, he looks young and he is short. I think that's why he doesn't get cast in anything, because he doesn't have, like, Hollywood stereotypical leading man. But I love him so much. I'm so glad he's in this.
He is a good actor. He is a
Oh,
really
yeah.
good actor, and
I think
he
he's
was
a
in
nice dude.
Zathura when I saw him for the first time, I think, and I love the movie Zathura.
I wonder how much it's gonna end up being like the Willy's Wonderland.
Not
I
even
I don't
close.
think it will be
Not yet.
because I
Not
think
even
that
close.
in Willy's Wonderland the protagonist, if you want to call him that, was too badass. I don't think our security guy at Five Nights is gonna be fighting the animatronics as much. It does look like they tried to put a lot of different games into the same movie though, so I'm kind of wondering how that's gonna go. It's probably gonna be like a disaster, a hot dumpster fire mess, but I'm ready for it.
Hell yeah.
I got my fire
and,
extinguisher. Let's do this.
and if you need something to hold yourself over, watch Willy's Wonderland.
Oh,
Because,
it's really
my
good.
God. That movie
that
was
You gotta
so
hold yourself
ridiculously
over.
good.
They're releasing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie at the right time. It comes out October 27th, so it's right in time for Halloween, right when everybody's ready for scary stuff.
And here's the perfect segue too. So the star of Willy's Wonderland is Nicolas Cage, which he is wonderful in too. That dude is just I don't know. His movies these days
There's
are just
like
I don't
good
know.
actors, great actors, okay actors, and then there's like a subcategory that is specifically for Nicolas Cage because it's just, you can't put him in any of the other ones. Like some of the stuff he's fucking amazing in, some stuff is terrible. He
He
gets his
was-
own category.
I mean, to
Man,
be
man
fair,
has an
he was a
Academy
really
Award,
good
but also
Dracula
has the
in
worst movies
Ridgefield.
I've ever seen.
to be fair, no matter what role he is put in, he always goes hard in it.
Yeah, he
Brother
does.
Man, it doesn't matter how bad it's written. Brother Man goes hard in it every
It's the
time.
same character in every movie.
Exactly.
You know,
He
I
plays
will give
himself
him
so hard.
in his later movies, yes, but in his earlier movies, he did attempt some range, and I think that's why you can't place him anywhere because it's like, okay, sometimes he nailed it, but sometimes he failed it like hard.
You know what's so funny is he changed his name. He changed his name. He's a Coppola, from
Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola stuff, and he changed his last name so he wouldn't be associated with that family, so he could do it all on his own. And he did that.
Yeah, he
I gotta
did.
give him props. But if he acted the way back then, the way he does now, he never would have gotten a job.
No, he can only act the way he does now because of everything he's
Yes.
done up to this
But
point.
he is going to be in Dead by Daylight. So that is, let me get out my wallet. I don't play that
Now
game,
he's
but,
gonna
you
play a
know,
Horde, or is he going to play a survivor?
both.
survivor.
I think he
He's
should be
a-
both.
Do
He's
we
a
know
survivor.
for a fact?
Yes,
Yes,
he will
it
play
says it in the
himself
article.
in the game in the role of a survivor. But I think
Okay.
that he should be both. I think that they should let that be a release later on so that we get a second Nicolas Cage pack where he's a bad
what
guy.
you're telling me is that they
He
are.
could be if they did
They
that.
did.
He could also be Dracula.
See? Right? That's what I'm saying. Save it.
Well,
Put
I
them in
mean,
both.
to be fair, if you
Wasn't
want to
he?
play
Is it
Survivor,
Hellrider? Is that the name of it?
Ghost
Yeah,
Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. Yeah, he could do Ghost Rider, and
But,
just have his voice for
Ghost
that.
Rider's not a bad guy though.
Yeah.
Well, he can still.
Well, he
kill
can still be a
people.
survivor, but with him being a survivor, they'll just introduce a new game mode where it's Nicolas Cage versus 4 monsters. So
Damn.
all the monsters have to run away from him while he chases them down.
Yeah, give him
Nicolas
the
Cage
outfit
becomes the
from,
new Chuck Norris.
Willys.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Baka. And the monsters get like 5 minutes or 1 minute every 5 minutes to hide while
Because he goes
takes
on
his break.
cooldown. Yes.
He goes on break. It's like, oh god, he's done chasing us.
That's gonna be weird.
He becomes
like
the
I-
John Wick of monster movies.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of the step he's been taking. It's like he fills this weird like protagonist antagonist where the antagonist is the scared of the protagonist style, where it's like he's the good guy but he just beats up the bad guy instead of any sort of story developing. He just says fuck the story, I'm gonna go stop the bad guy. Oh wait, I'll give you a minute to go hide before I beat your ass again, and goes and sits down. It's like, oh god, hide.
This sounds like something that could be made through Gary's mod. Like the hunter, the murder thing that we play, except take away the tracking with the footprints.
It's like a mix of hide and seek. Like you get like 45 seconds to hunt the people, and they got to try to run away from you, and then you get 1 minute where you're blind and they can run around and try to hide in different places again.
Yeah, just make the sound effect of a soda being popped open and drunk, or just like a pinball machine appearing in front of you, and you're just forced to sit there and stare at it and play it.
Perfect. Man, I've been wanting to watch that movie again, so I'm gonna definitely find time to watch that movie again.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
That was a fun movie.
Too funny.
Well,
Anything else?
no.
No,
guess
I
not.
think that's it.
We do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us at Infinite Respawn. Check us out every other week when there's not holidays. We are sorry about that, but Griff's a mom, so we got to make sure that she has
is
her
a mom. She
time
got
with
a
her
nugget
kid.
now.
That's right. We get to celebrate her. When she gets her time off. But you're a mom. You never have your time off.
Yeah. What's free time anymore? What is that?
We call that sleep. Basically, that's all you get when you're a parent. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. Chicken will be back in the fall playing some games. He gets all spring and summer to choose what it is that he wants to play. And
Still
then
have no idea what we're playing.
in the fall and the winter, he'll get there and he'll get to play some
Stuff.
hopefully some good games that he's built up for, and he gets to play them on sale probably. So, which is the best part, saving money while you're playing.
Hey, yeah.
Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/AMDB Oak Tree, where currently I'm only on Sundays. As soon as the thing behind me is done, which all you see is a screen of stuff, but there's work being done behind me. When that's finished, then I'll get a schedule back up and running here in a couple weeks. But for Infinite Respawn, I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
Nah, I'm Baka.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.